This week on Metro Cafe, Nancy Drew comes to television with a 90s twist on detective work. Dayton Boots, you may already own one, visit the factory where these top-selling designs are made. Supermodels, they're on every magazine cover, meet the women behind their success. TV ads, do you know what's involved in making them? Come along with us for a camera ride. Also get a sample of the erotically charged music of Crash Vegas. Plus this week's exclusive, a Retro Metro segment. We'll go back to our 1993 season and talk to the most famous gay married couple, Bob and Rod Jackson Paris. All of this and more this week on Metro Cafe.
Since the introduction of Nancy Drew in the early 30s, the character, Nancy herself, has been a staple of children's literature, solving mysteries with insight and maturity. Nowadays, there's a 90s TV version, a Nancy who's a brilliant and beautiful young sleuth with a consuming passion for unraveling mysteries. Metro Cafe attended an industry showcase in Toronto, where the main cast had a chance to meet the media. Our own Robin McCrary got the scoop on Nancy and her dynamic duo.
Excuse me? Hi. I was talking to a man earlier today and he dropped this. Red clover, what's it for?
It's been a long time since Nancy Drew's been around, okay? Nancy Drew was out in the 70s. And what's the difference between the 70s Nancy Drew and the 90s Nancy Drew?
Disco. I guess this Nancy looks different, first of all, in the 90s.
And what are your friends like?
They're the best.
Hey! Ow! Hello? Nancy, you're here. She's here. We're just getting the place all set up for you. No, it's no trouble at all. Just get here already. We can't wait to see you.
She's assertive in her own way, great sense of humor, likes pink, and she writes for an alternative magazine.
George is the definitive tomboy with the sexy edge.
Yeah, well, we don't have to cripple her by making her sleep on the floor. Look, no arguments, Bess. Just meet me down here in 20 minutes.
I hope I bring Nancy's determination through. I'm kind of interested in Nancy's sense of humor and what makes her tick, what makes her vulnerable. Sometimes there's not a lot of room to get around to showing that, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking about that sort of thing. You know, her humanness, her vulnerability, her humor, that sort of thing. Who she is as a woman that's like my age, not just a mystery-solving machine kind of thing.
These boots are made for working and walking too. You know, when it comes to fashion, boots are a very integral part of the whole look. I'm carrying here a Dayton boot that has been on the market for years. And you know what? It's still as trendy as the day it was designed. You may have seen people wearing them all over the place, but this week on Metro Cafe, we're going to take you inside the factory to show you how they're made and also talk to the creative mind behind this very trendy footwear. Over the last few years, the popularity of Dayton shoes and boots have increased, making them as trendy as Doc Martens and Tony Lamas. They have also become the footwear choice of numerous screen and music celebrities. But is marketing the real reason behind their success?
We really haven't made a big push at trying to market anything. I mean, we are what we are. And we still do things the way that Dad set up the production line 40-something years ago to make it that way. And we still look for the same things in the leather and the quality of the production that we do. We're not willing to go mass produced because it wouldn't be the product that it is if we did.
Dayton boots were originally created in World War II to suit loggers who were unable to get their boots repaired. It all started at this quaint small volume factory in Vancouver's East Side. That was okay at the time, but now that Dayton's are hip as well as well made, Ray doesn't have any plans on enlarging the production line to suit the demand. It'll always be one trendy style after another.
This is the traditional boot. This is its newer cousin in the brown nubuck, and this was your original It's an incredible little product. It's called a driver's boot. So it's kind of a throwback, it's kind of a nod to our past. It's a lineman boot for tree climbers. Now you're really getting into something funky.
These days, the clientele for Dayton's women's as well as men's shoes extends a lot further than just the West Coast. Are these shoes accessible to people in Eastern Canada?
They are in a limited fashion. We're trying to make a push further out. There is some people in Halifax selling them, and there is people in Toronto in the Ontario market, and there's even a few in Quebec. The three things that the company is about is comfort, quality, and durability. And if you have those three things, you're going to have something you're going to have for a long time. Somebody came up to me one day and said, you know, your stuff is as good as Tony Lama's. And Tony Lama's is a very large Western boot manufacturer out of El Paso, Texas. And I said, well, the difference between me and Tony Lama's is that they have 40 guys at 40 stitchers stitching 40 pairs of boots at the same time. I have one person at one stitcher stitching every pair. And the difference in quality behind that, well, you draw your own conclusion.
Celebrity supermodels, we see them on every magazine cover. Coming up, meet the face behind these familiar faces. And later, we sample the sounds and have a little chat with Crash Vegas.
If you ever wanted to make it in the highly lucrative and fickle world of modeling, Valerie Trott, who's the president of Elite Models in Los Angeles, would be the woman you'd have to impress. We caught up with Valerie in her Beverly Hills office, and Metro Cafe got the scoop on this glamorous business.
Hi. Sure. No, absolutely. No, go.
Meet Valerie Trott. For a lot of people in the modeling industry, she's considered the face behind the most popular faces.
Everyone thinks of modeling as being so glamorous. Is it really that glamorous? Is it easy? Do you just get to stand around, have makeup put on, or is it really pretty grueling?
Well, I think it's pretty grueling. I don't think it's so easy to sit in really hot studios in the middle of summer and have to put on wool suits or fur coats and have tons of makeup being applied to you and sit around and wait and then all of a sudden say, okay, you're on, and get up and look absolutely beautiful and smile. The shooting could go from anywhere from 4 hours to 5 hours to, if they go overtime, to 8, 9, 10 hours. And it's hard work.
How young will you go when you sign up a new girl? Is there like a base age? You won't go any lower than?
I say 14, and then I see a 13-year-old that's going to be 14 in like 3 months, so I take her. It's become very young. Models are starting very young because everybody wants to become a model. If I get a really beautiful young lady, I like to start her in modeling, but it's a long process at 14.
How do you find a young girl? Do you personally actually go out on the street and spot people?
I do, and we have a staff of people that do it. We have a new faces department, and we have scouts, and I have a scout that works here full-time, and we have different scouts around the country. That's how we do it, and that's the only way to do it. But we'll see girls on the street. The young woman that runs my new faces division, Kaye, I mean, she'll go up to people in supermarkets and on street corners, and we found a couple of pretty good girls. I mean, they're not stars yet, but or I don't know if they will be, but they're doing extremely well.
So how do you feel about models who are turning into actresses? It seems very easy now for them to cross over. Is that true? Do you think it's easy?
It's an easy move because they're in the spotlight, and so everyone sees them, and pretty much these days models are very celebrated. So this opens the door, and then they get in, but then they have to prove themselves, even more so than just someone who's studying acting, because they have this image of being a really beautiful, gorgeous, knockout dead thing who can do anything. So when they get on the screen, they better be able to act.
Careers of elite supermodels such as Cindy Crawford have soared to include lucrative movie deals. Nowadays, models don't stop working at age 30 anymore.
Models are working quite a bit older now. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. Now, I can't say that they're going to go from 14 to 50, but we have Maud Adams with us, and we laugh because she stopped modeling and was doing films, and now she's works. She doesn't work all the time, but the big joke is she makes more in one day than she used to make in 3 months of modeling, and she was one of the biggest models around in her day. These girls are really special. First of all, they are absolutely beautiful to look at. Talk about standing out in a room when they walk in, or without any makeup and a pair of jeans and a t-shirt on, people stop and look. They have a certain carriage, a certain way about them that most people don't have, and I think that's just within. They didn't learn, it's just them. They have the complete package, and they use it, and we take it and push it and use it and push it as far as we can get it, as far as making them to the very top and keeping them there. Getting there and staying there is another thing.
If behind-the-scenes photography action is something you enjoy watching, then this segment is for you. This week, Metro Cafe takes you to Vancouver, where a Kokanee beer TV commercial was being shot. We tagged along with a production crew who was most accommodating for our own camera to be a part of the experience.
So what's this commercial about?
What's this commercial about? Well, that's the thing about the director, Rob Thomas. You never really quite know. You know, he's pretty spontaneous.
This is an open casting call, I understand.
Well, we did an open casting call, 600 people showed up, and we didn't use any of them.
No way.
Okay, we did.
Casting for the commercial was relatively easy.
They went around to bars and restaurants and took pictures of
Nightclubs.
Interviewed girls there.
Really?
Crazy looking people like
The
us.
question is, what made me get these people?
Yeah.
Well, then look at them, for God's sakes. They have to have some sort of hook.
So, Rupert, how do you feel about being on this Kokanee commercial? He's the strong, silent type.
Everybody has to have something about them, you know, that's going on with them.
What did you do in the audition?
I was kind of sitting in the back seat of this fake cab or whatever, and being the straight man, basically trying to feed my friend Doug, who's doing the commercial right now. He's on the set now. The lines, making him look good. So if I made him look good, I thought I'd get the part, and I did.
But yeah, the guys that are coming up next looks like they would hang out at Kitts Beach and be groovy guys and all sensitive and everything.
What did Rob Thomas, the director, ask you guys to do?
We had to sit around and be spontaneously humorous.
You know, if you take a surfboard and you stand on it and you have a parachute and you're on the surfboard with a bike, that's an extreme sport. Okay. And you start making up all this bizarre stuff.
After all the right faces have been chosen and production starts, cameras, dollies, cranes, boom mics, and lots of personnel all become part of days and days of hectic shooting and elaborate procedures to come up with a final product that lasts only 30 seconds on your TV screen.
This is a different version. I'm thinking about getting my nose pierced, and you guys said do it, but you were all talking at each other. So you need to get, I think somebody stepped on somebody's line there, but I don't know who it was.
In one of the scenes in this particular commercial, a conversation was taking place inside a moving taxi cab. The taxi was mounted on a moving platform that was towed through the streets of downtown Vancouver. A police escort may be required.
UBC got me a bus ticket. Took the bus to Campy Street and jumped off the bridge into the water.
That was funny. The more off the wall and the more zany, the better.
He takes it from there. He kind of short lists. He gets a bunch of footage on people, and then he just cuts and he puts things together. And he comes out with great stuff. I mean, these commercials have won a lot of awards. So.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Did I say Cactus Productions?
Hi, we're here with Colin Cripps and Michelle McAdorey, Crash Vegas. Do you always write your own music or your own lyrics?
Predominantly we do. Occasionally we've chosen to do other people's materials. Actually, in both cases, Neil Young songs. I mean, it can be satisfying to do other people's material. It's kind of a challenge, to do something that somebody else has written and make it your own, find your own voice in it, and hope that you can somehow live up to the original, because usually you like the original. That's what's inspired you to want to do it.
What's your inspiration for your music?
It can be anything, given whatever day it is. It can be anything you overhear. It can be listening to other music. It can be seeing a film. It can be literature, conversation, friends, experience.
Completely unmusically related.
Yeah.
I think we're influenced by everyday events, artists, as Michelle said, just actually living.
Why are they describing your music now as more sexually charged and erotic?
We'd have to ask those people that. I think it's because perhaps there's a sort of sensuality inherent in some of the moods that are created by some of the pieces. And I think people are reading that into some of the lyrics. The sexual energy and the creative energy are the same to me. It's just a matter of what form of expression. It's something that can be a very powerful kind of motivator and muse.
As long as you feel like you're progressing in your way of doing what you do, and you feel like you're getting the satisfaction out of it, and you also feel like you're becoming better at what you do.
Les Ballets Jazz de Montréal defies categories. It's a unique fusion of classical ballet and modern dance, a sophisticated style that adapts itself to everything from the most exuberant and lighthearted dancing to strong dramatic works, rich and passionate in emotional nuances. The music ranges widely through the jazz repertoire from Oscar Peterson and Pat Metheny to the Beatles.
Tell me your name, please.
My name is Rob Ribinger.
And how long have you been with this company?
About 3.5 years with this company.
Does everyone get along really well, do you think, here?
Pretty much. People get along very well. It's sort of something you have to do because we travel so much and we do spend so much time together, especially on tour.
Tell me a little about the stories that you tell in the show that you're touring with right now. Are they happy stories, sad stories, funny stories?
The dances that we perform don't have so much of a storyline. I like to describe a lot of what we do as dance for dance. Certainly there's some pieces that represent relationships or happy or sad. You can get that sort of a feeling from it. I read different reviews about different pieces, and it's very interesting how different people interpret the same thing.
And what is your name, sir?
Mario.
And tell me a little about what your lifestyle is like. Do you have a really strict diet when you're on tour to keep?
For the guys, it's kind of a little bit different from the girls, you see, because we're lifting them. And that's the joke between the dancers, you know. And I think for the guys, we eat a lot of meat, a lot of Italian food, just to give us like something we can digest very well, you see. Right now I'm eating like kind of noodles because
the cup o' noodles.
Yes, we don't like most of the dancers do that because we don't eat very much before a show, because if you eat too much, you feel like lazy on stage, you see.
So what is your name?
Charisse.
Right. And tell me, do you think dancing is a glamorous career?
Yes and no. It's glamorous on stage, definitely. And when you get to meet the people who come to see the shows, and when you get to go to receptions and things like that, yes, that could be looked upon as glamorous. But there's a lot of hard work, and that's not very glamorous, and a lot of long bus rides, and that's not very glamorous.
So here I am in the men's dressing room, and it's only a third the size of the women's. That doesn't seem very fair. Hi, what's your name?
Danko.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
You're about to go on stage. Are you nervous?
Not really.
No.
Huh?
This is very bad. I'm French.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Jean-Jacques.
And does everyone get along really well, or do you guys have like tiffs and spats?
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's fine.
I think we make a good team for like 12 very strong individual, I should say.
Meet these two good-looking gentlemen, Rod and Bob. If you don't recognize them, here's something that'll help you get to know them better. These guys aren't your average poster boys. They are Mr. and Mr. Bob and Rod Jackson Paris, the most famous gay married couple. 2 years ago, they appeared as guests for the annual Whistler Gay Ski Week in Whistler, BC. The appearance was to promote their book at the time, entitled Straight from the Heart, a love story that has a significant message about learning and loving.
Never write your life story for the public to read. That's the message.
That's the exact message. It's a very candid book. Straight from the Heart is an autobiography, and it's more than anything, I think, it's a love story. And it's a story about growing up gay and growing up different, and what it's like to, for us, what it was like to fall in love and then bring our lives together. And then sort of our life as we've gone through our careers, being an openly gay public couple.
For a lot of non-gay people, they really think that not just our relationship, but any gay and lesbian relationship is about sex. And it's ridiculous, because we've been together 8.5 years. If it was just about sex, we would have moved on a long time ago. And being gay is no more about sex than being non-gay is about sex.
A few years ago, Bob and Rod teamed up with celebrity photographer Herb Ritz and launched Duo, a picture book featuring both Bob and Rod's sculptured physiques. Sales for Duo went to benefit AIDS research.
Well, we had already been together for, it's 8.5 years now, and we had talked about...
Well, you make it seem so long.
No, I'm saying...
Is there something you'd like to tell me?
We had talked about, making a public commitment and having a marriage for a long time. And we thought it through very thoroughly because we wanted to do it. We didn't want it just to be sort of this lighthearted thing. We sent out 300 invitations to all of our friends and family from all over the world, and we had this wonderful day at this little cute Spanish-style little Unitarian church in Santa Monica, California, and had a big party afterwards, and it was a great day. It was a great day.
Next week on Metro Cafe, we go on the set of Baywatch and talk to their hunk, David Chokachi. We also get a lesson in the art of body massage. One of Canada's brilliant fashion designers, Faisal Virani, shows his collection. We also have a lighthearted chat with Moxie Fruvis. She hits the charts like a storm. Amanda Marshall takes the spotlight. And Justine Priestley cooks up a storm with the head chef at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Hit by lightning, the gift of disaster. I was taking what I was given. Little prescription for this freak of nature.